Hello, my name is Cody Baker, and I'm a platform engineer for DigitalOcean's PaaS products here. I'm here with my colleague, Zach Eddy, a senior engineer on App Platform. Um, App Platform was launched in October of 2020, just 4 years ago. And in those 4 years, we've been busy with many improvements, refining a lot of workflows. And we've also been listening and acting on your feature requests. If you tried App Platform at launch, we're here to show you what's changed, what's still great, and what's coming next. Today, we're going to start by building a pre-built application stack serving an LLM chatbot. This stack uses a couple of different components, a back-end inferencing API server built in Go and C called Ollama, a front-end web UI built on Python and Svelte, and Postgres for persistence. One of the things you'll notice on this screen is several new ways that we've enabled for you to bring your application to App Platform. You'll recognize some old favorites like GitHub with its deploy on push functionality. We've also rounded out Git support with GitLab. Also, we've added the ability to deploy container images from Docker Hub, GitHub Container Registry, and DigitalOcean's own container registry. Today, I'm going to use Docker Hub to pull the Ollama LLM engine from Docker Hub. It's free and open source for chatbot style LLMs. So the registry name is Ollama and the repository name is Ollama. Use the latest tag, and we don't need credentials this time because this is a public open source image. All right, on this page, we have the opportunity to customize our application a bit. I'm going to go ahead and adjust some of the resource configurations. This LLM is very memory and CPU hungry, so I'm going to give it our largest 32 gigabyte, 8 vCPU plan. One of the things you'll notice here is we recently rolled out new pricing for dedicated instance sizes. This instance previously would have cost $200 more than the price you see today. Additionally, we've enabled auto scaling. Auto scaling lets you turn your application configuration down to a lower expense when it's not busy, and scale up when you need the extra capacity. Go ahead and click save. One other bit of housekeeping we need to do on this page. This particular Ollama engine listens on a non-standard port, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust the HTTP port here. All right, let's go ahead and click save. We don't have any environmental variables to configure for this component, so I'm going to skip past that. And then we are going to give our application a great name. All right. And now our application is being created. Okay, great. Our application is live and we have the URL here. I'm going to go ahead and click this and we can see the Ollama API engine is running. Now, that's not very exciting, so let's go back to our application and add a front end. Before we add that front end, though, we have a bit of work to do. I'm going to go ahead and add a Postgres database so our front end can store the conversation history as well as some of the user and other settings. So I'm going to go to create and then create attached database. And this will add a component to the same application. I have an existing database. So I'm going to click previously created DigitalOcean database and use this production grade Shark Chat database, which is Postgres. Go ahead and click attach. And that database is going to go live. Another bit of housekeeping that we're going to take care of here is right now the front end of our application is just that welcome banner. That's not very exciting. I'm going to go ahead and move our backend to /backend in the HTTP request routes. So I'm going to update the path to backend. And you can see here we've added rewrite options for paths, which enables you to do redirects or other things like that, as well as course configuration. Both of these are new since App Platform launched. Go ahead and click save. All right, let's go ahead and add our front end. So I'm going to click create and then create resource from source code. And I've forked this repository. The component we're going to use is called Open Web UI. And I'm going to go ahead and click next. I'm using GitHub here, so it will auto deploy if I push any source changes up to this. All right. This does detect an extra component because it's both got a Docker file and it's a or a monorepo style application. But in this case, we just want the Docker file. All right, click next. And we do have some environmental variables to add. One thing I'd like to show you is our new bulk editor. The bulk editor enables you to post formatted environment variables so that you can quickly load in your environmental variables as opposed to pasting them one by one. I'm going to encrypt our web UI secret. Save and click next. All right, let's go. Okay, our build here is wrapping up. One thing I'd like to highlight here is how much faster builds in App Platform are now than at launch. We've made many improvements to our build and deploy system, which make your apps deploy faster. Nevertheless, this app still takes some amount of time because it builds different languages and different components from source. All right, let's go ahead and check out our application. Okay, now we have this front end here. It already has credentials saved in the database that we're going to go ahead and reuse. So I'm going to log in. And welcome to the web UI for Ollama. Now, the first thing we need to do is fetch a model. So I'm going to go to Settings, click Models, and download Microsoft's Phi 3 model. This is a fast and lightweight model that runs well on CPU. All right, let's go ahead and give this a try. I'd like to make a customer service chatbot, and so I'm going to give this model, the LLM, instructions. Please always answer future questions in the voice of a shark named Sammy, who is a customer solutions engineer for DigitalOcean. You're here to help customers bring their dreams online. Well, hello there. I'm Sammy, your friendly DigitalOcean navigator. Dive into the world of hosting with DigitalOcean and let's make those dreams swim in cyberspace together. How can I assist you on this journey? Okay, this is great. I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to Zach, though, because this app is not very production grade. Thank you. Take it away, Zach.
Thanks, Cody. So as Cody mentioned, I'm going to be doing a few things here to make this app a little bit more production ready. So in my app settings page, the first thing I can do here is go down to alert policies. So I'll be doing a few things here, leveraging features that we've added since launching App Platform. The first thing I want to do is click Edit here. I'm going to create alert policy. And there are a few metrics that we can use to on these alert policies. We can use CPU, memory usage, restart count. So in this case, as Cody also mentioned earlier, these LLMs take a lot of memory usage to run. So I think it makes sense to create an alert based on memory usage. So I'm going to select RAM. I'm going to say if memory usage goes above, let's say 80% for 10 minutes, I want to receive an email. And I'm going to apply this specifically to the component that's running my model, which is this Ollama component. You can also send these alerts to Slack. In my case, email is totally fine. So I'll go ahead and click Save, and that will result in a new deployment. So the second thing I can do here is add some log forwarding. So I'll click Edit. So log forwarding is really useful for a variety of reasons. Maybe you want to retain your logs for months or years at a time. Maybe you've written a query to search like one very specific error message, and you want to sift through millions of logs to just find that one error message that you care about. So that's a really good use case for log forwarding here. So we have a couple different destinations. We have Logtail, we have Datadog, Papertrail. In this case, I'd like to use OpenSearch because DigitalOcean supports managed OpenSearch. So if we go over here, we can see that we already have an OpenSearch instance running on DigitalOcean. So off to the right here, we see the connection details. And basically, when we configure this log for any destination in our app, these are the connection details that we'll want to use. So I'll pop back to my app over here. I'll go ahead and click OpenSearch. So I'm going to give this some name like OpenSearch logs. The endpoint, I'm going to copy and paste based on the connection details that you saw in the other page. The username is doadmin, and I'm going to paste the password here. The index name logs is totally fine with me. That's the default that we've option here. I'm going to apply that to all of my components. Click add log destination. So again, that's going to fire a new deployment, and that new deployment, once it becomes active, will have log forwarding and alerts enabled. The last thing I want to do here is add dedicated egress. So this is a new feature that we've added to App Platform in the last few months, and it's something that we're excited about because it was highly requested by our users. So I'll click edit here again as well and click add dedicated egress IPs. And so what this feature will do is it will add a set of public IP addresses that belong only to your app. So they're not shared amongst other apps, they're not shared amongst other users. And what this basically, all of the traffic that leaves your app and leaves DigitalOcean from your app, the source IP address on all that traffic will be one of these dedicated egress IPs. And what that's useful for is maybe you have a resource running outside DigitalOcean, like a database, and you want to secure that database with security best practice. So the best practice there in this case would be to deny all traffic to that instance. You don't want anyone in the world to be able to connect to that database unless you trust them. So in this case, what we would do to secure that database is we could add some dedicated egress IPs. And then on the database side, we would configure a firewall rule to only admit traffic from those IP addresses. And effectively, that would only allow traffic from your app. So if you want to adhere to that security best practice and only admit traffic from your app, what you can do is configure dedicated egress IP. So I'm going to wait for a second for my app to come online. Usually, after you configure a dedicated egress IP, that initial deployment will take a few minutes, but the subsequent deployments will be much faster. So I'm just going to take a pause here and come back when this deployment's active. Okay, and we're back. So if I check out my app in the settings page here, you'll see I have 2 dedicated egress IPs assigned to my app now. So again, all outgoing traffic from my app will come from one of these 2 dedicated egress, from one of these 2 IP addresses. So to demonstrate that, what I can do is I can hop over to the console here. I can open a shell to the container running my web UI. And in this container, I have the curl command installed. So what I'm going to do is just curl this website that all it does is it just echoes the source IP address of the client connecting to that website. So just have curl if config.me, which again just echoes the source IP address. And there we go. So this 159.223.116.30 IP address, if we go back to my settings page, is this first IP address here. So yeah, so if you want to secure access to get those to resources outside DigitalOcean, this is a great way to do that. So now that this app is a little bit more productionified, I'm going to throw it back over to Cody, who's going to talk about some exciting upcoming changes to App Platform.
Thanks, Zach. Everything Zach and I have shown you today has been running on general purpose CPU and is available for you to use today. Now I'd like to show you what's coming to App Platform soon. In Patty's keynote, you heard GPUs are coming to Droplet. They're also coming to App Platform. This won't be available today, but we're working hard to bring this to you soon. Our support for AI ML workloads won't just be limited to adding GPU machine types, though. We'll also be adding integrations to rapidly deploy models from repositories, Spaces, and S3. We're also exploring features for optimizing your AI ML apps for better performance and cost. Click this URL, do.co/AppPlatformGPU, or scan the QR code to register for info about GPU availability in App Platform. We hope you've enjoyed App Platform and these updates. There's a lot of other great improvements we didn't have time to show today. Come to App Platform and give it a try. And if you think there's still something that's missing from App Platform, reach out. We have a great team working hard to make it always better. Big thanks to that team. Thanks to Zach. And thank you for watching today.